Hello, you are watching eNEWS Bulletin of IPR Department with me, Chiring Eden. Let's take a look at some of the news making headlines. Starting with the state affairs and what is happening with COVID. On Thursday, Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamung chaired a high-level meeting at Samman Bhawan, Gangtok to review the COVID-19 situation in the state. Present in the meeting were the ministers, Director General Police, additional chief secretaries, heads of various departments, senior government officials, district collectors, ADCs, chief medical officers, health department officials and officers of the COVID-19 management group. The Chief Minister issued strict directives to ensure that strict measures are adopted to contain the spread of COVID-19 any further. He called for the need to review the containment measures. He further called for emphasis on home quarantine even for people who move out of their ward or village. He urged the district administration to review the paid quarantine facilities for people entering the state through the interstate borders and asked the health department officials to enhance mass testing. He also called for additional measures to ensure 100% vaccination coverage. The Tourism Department was directed to facilitate a smooth movement of tourists into the state, duly ensuring that all safety measures are strictly followed. Likewise, Labour Department and Police Department were directed to strictly monitor the movement of labour force into the state. After detailed discussion, the following broad decisions were taken during the meeting. Complete ban for 1 month would be enforced on all social, religious and entertainment-related activities like marriage, pujas and birthday parties and other get-togethers both in urban and rural areas. Keeping in view the present situation, the practice of serving food and beverages during funerals and last rites will be restricted. IEC and mass awareness on COVID-appropriate behavior will be upscaled. It was decided to enforce strict penalties on people and establishments violating COVID-19 guidelines. The meeting also decided to put a complete end to the practice of issuing special permits other than for health and police personnel. Police will strictly enforce the odd-even rule for vehicles without any exception. After reviewing the containment measures, the meeting decided that if any person in a ward or village tests positive, the entire ward will be declared a containment zone and strict measures will be enforced to prevent further spread. In case of urban or semi-urban areas or towns, the entire building will be contained. Any relief work, social or medical service should compulsorily be routed through the district collectors. Only in-house puja or rituals will be allowed in religious places. There will be complete ban on visitors to any religious place or institution. It was decided that these rules as well as COVID-19 government protocols are to be enforced strictly and without any exemption. All the officials and staff of the State Bank of Sikkim headquarter located at Gangtok underwent mandatory COVID-19 testing after some of its employees reported COVID positive. SBS Managing Director P.W. Bhutia informed that after many of the employees of the bank reported COVID positive, the Department of Health, in consultation with the bank, put the headquarter under containment for 48 hours starting Tuesday. Similarly, all the remaining employees at the headquarter underwent COVID-19 testing, out of which few more tested positive. These employees have been asked to undergo isolation and follow the state government protocol, and only those with negative RT-PCR report have been allowed to join duty. Also, strict measures with respect to functioning of the bank employees are in place. Further, only 20 customers will be allowed to enter at one time and social distancing inside the bank will be strictly followed. The SBS, which has its branches spread across the state, has more than 60 employees in the Gangtok head office. East District Administration on Tuesday issued orders for containment of Pakyong Bazaar starting Wednesday till 5 a.m. of July 19. The containment was done after the detection of COVID-19 cases in the town and to prevent Pakyong town from becoming probable COVID hotspot. All vehicular movement and personal movement except for those involved in essential services, including banks and medical emergencies, will be completely stopped. All residents in Pakyong town are to strictly remain under home quarantine till further orders. There shall be no movement of any person into or outside the containment zone except in case of emergencies. The urgency to shut down Pakyong Bazaar came after a deaf and dumb person in the town was detected with COVID on Tuesday. The person had come in contact with many people. He has been shifted to a COVID care center at Renok for isolation and treatment. Meanwhile, Pakyong BDO as well as Health Department have clarified that the WhatsApp messages of Delta variant found in Pakyong Bazaar are fake. It has been requested that the messages are not forwarded. Now let's look at COVID-19 national scenario. India recorded 38,949 new COVID-19 cases with 542 more fatalities, according to Union Health Ministry data updated this morning. The active cases have declined and comprise 1.39% of the total infections. The daily positivity rate was recorded at 1.99%. The number of people who have recovered from the disease has increased and the recovery rate now stands at 97.28%. Meanwhile, the Indian Council of Medical Research has warned that the third wave is most likely to hit the country by the end of August, though it will not be as intense as the second wave. Indian Medical Association has also said that the third wave is inevitable in certain parts of the country due to the laxity by both the government and the citizens who are not following the COVID-19 protocols. Earlier, the World Health Organization chief also warned that the world is in the early stages of the third wave of COVID-19, driven by the Delta variant of the virus. In other news, many people have been reported missing as heavy rains and floods lashing Western Europe on Thursday have killed at least 59 people in Germany and 9 in Belgium. Germany is experiencing one of the worst weather disasters since World War II. Unusually heavy rains were also seen in Luxembourg, the Netherlands and Belgium that have caused rivers to burst their banks and flooding streets in cities and towns, while power was knocked out for hundreds of thousands of households. Urban areas with poor drainage and buildings located in flood zones suffered severe damages. The intensity and scale of the floods have shocked climate scientists who did not expect records to be broken this much over such a wide area or this soon. After the deadly heat wave in the US and Canada, where temperatures rose above 49.6 Celsius 2 weeks ago, the deluge in Central Europe has raised fears that human-caused climate disruption is making extreme weather even worse than predicted. This is all we have for today. Please like and follow our Facebook page, that is the official Government of Sikkim page, for the most authentic news and information on recent developments in the government and the state. Please continue wearing masks and practice double masking. Wash your hands regularly and maintain physical distance as our fight against COVID-19 still continues. COVID-appropriate behavior needs to continue even after vaccination. In case you develop symptoms, please self-isolate and get tested within 7 days. Thank you for tuning in.